fell in love with the wrong person. And I fell hard, and I fell deep. And I was convinced that the universe was going to take away every obstacle from our being together, because he was truly my soulmate. And so I thought we would be together, the universe would remove all the petty little things getting in the way, like the fact that he was already married. But things went from kind of bad to worse. And the more I tried to make it work, the worse it got. I changed the food I cooked, I changed the music I listened to. Nothing seemed to be able to keep the relationship together. And finally one day, we were walking to the bus, my soulmate and I, and he was wincing as I was talking to him. And I said, "What? What?" "The pitch of your voice hurts my ears." "Oh, sorry," I said. Oh, I knew I had to do something. So I went on retreat. When all else fails, get thee to a nunnery. At this point, I was practicing Buddhism, so I went on retreat up at this wonderful little retreat center in Washington called Cloud Mountain Retreat Center. It's up in the hills in Washington State. It's an old farmhouse that they've converted into a retreat center with a meditation hall, places to stay. It's just wonderful. And I just signed up for the next available opening. I didn't know what it was. I just knew it was a 7-day silent retreat. Great. I thought, I won't inflict the pitch of my voice on anybody. Terrific. So it wasn't until the Friday night when I got up to Cloud Mountain and I'm sitting in the meditation hall, hearing through the interpreter who's translating for the monk who's leading the retreat, that I realized what I've gotten into. Because this retreat has not been homogenized for Western consumption. This monk was from Burma. It was Burma then. And he had flown over expressly to do this retreat, and then he was flying right back to Burma. So for the 7 days that he was to be with us, he wanted us to act as if we were living in a Buddhist monastery, which involved getting up at 5:30 in the morning for chanting. Oh, all right. And then he also wanted us to abide by 5 Buddhist principles. Real Buddhist monks abide by many more principles than that, but he was just wanting us to do kind of the basic 5. Oh, I'm thinking to myself, I'm just not sure. But then I look at the teacher, and he's sitting there in his saffron robes. He's got aviator glasses on and one of those big high-tech watches like the Dalai Lama wears. And he's just exuding serenity and peace. And I think, oh, that's what I want. All right, bring on the principles. What are they? Principle number 1, abstain from violence. Okay, I can do that. Principle number 2, abstain from lying. It's a silent retreat. My mime skills aren't that good. I think I'm going to be okay with this one. Principle number 3, abstain from sexual relations. At this point, everybody in the meditation hall starts checking everybody else out. Because you want to know what you're giving up, And then I think to myself, no, don't be crazy. This is why you're here in the first place. Of course you're not going to do anything like that. Fine. Principle number 4, abstain from artificial stimulants. And for one horrible moment, I think they mean coffee. But no, it turns out it's just drugs and alcohol. No problem. All right. Now I'm feeling really smug, I'm well on my way to Buddhahood here. Bring on principle number 5. Principle number 5, abstain from eating after noon. Ugh. Intake of breath all around the meditation hall. What's he talking about, I think? It's a silent retreat. All there is to do is eat. That's the high point of the day. Abstain from eating after noon. This is crazy. I can't do it. And then I look at the teacher, exuding saffron transcendence. And I think, oh, all right. So the next morning, I'm up, 5:30, chanting, breakfast, sitting meditation, walking meditation, lunch, our last meal. Going down the cafeteria line, tofu hot dish, spelt casserole, macrobiotic salad. I can barely lift the plate. I'm staggering over to the table, and I look at everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody has these plates loaded with food because, this is the last time we're going to be able to eat. I stagger over to the table, sit down. I can only eat about a third of it, and then I'm just totally full. All that afternoon in meditation, I'm just, kind of nauseous and sleepy until it hits 5 o'clock, and then I'm starving because I realize I'm not going to be able to eat till the morning. And that's the way it went for the next 3 days. I'm either starving or I'm stuffed and I'm sleep deprived, and everybody was getting a little weird. One afternoon, I was doing walking meditation out on the grounds, and I see somebody in her car, because we'd all parked our cars under the trees there, and she's kind of crouched behind the driver's wheel, and she's doing something, and I can't quite see what it is, so I meditated over. And I look in the window, she's got a can of tuna fish in her hand. She's just eating it like this, just like a cat. Because we're all kind of losing control. And so finally, it's not helped, because when we were sitting in meditation, even if for a nanosecond I would get my mind out of my own suffering and into some place of balance, all it would take is a peacock to knock me off. Because there were peacocks strolling the grounds of the monastery. And it was peacock mating season. So they're trying to do a little peacock population control. They had the peahens all caged up behind a chicken wire fence. Peacocks were roaming free, which upset me. I thought, cage the peacocks up. That's the problem. But then I spent a little time with the peahens, and they're really kind of happy. They're painting their little toenails, and they're passing magazines back and forth, and they're doing a little knitting. They're content. The peacocks, distraught. They have an eerie call at the best of times, and when they're the victims of unrequited love, they sound like nothing on earth. It sounds like, ooh, 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 ooh. So even if for a second I got a moment of peace, all it would take is, ooh, ooh, and I'd be right back where the peacock was. So finally, day 4, I decided I'm leaving. That's it. I've had it. Right after lunch, I'm going home. So before lunch, I'm out doing my walking meditation by the kitchen of the monastery, of the retreat house. And there's a delivery truck that's just dropped something off at the kitchen. So he's backing up because he's got to back up, turn around, and go down the long driveway that leads out of the monastery. So as he backs up, he's making that sound. The truck is. Then he turns, heads down the driveway, and there's this big rustle in the bushes beside me, and all of a sudden a peacock shoots out of the bushes and starts running down the driveway after the delivery truck. Ooh, ooh! Ooh, ooh! It heard it backing up. It thought it was a peahen. It's in love. Come back. Ooh, ooh! I love you. Ooh, ooh! What's your name? Ooh, ooh! And I'm standing there watching this peacock in pursuit of the delivery truck, and I think, that's what I'm doing. That's what I am doing. I'm a peacock, and I'm in love with a delivery truck. And the universe said, so snap out of it. So I did. I went home, ditched the delivery truck, found myself a peacock, one of my own species, married him, and I'm here to say, 18 years come this Halloween, it has been happily ever after.